touching. It really is.
You have enriched everyone's lives here, and we really want to thank you and wish you well in Seattle. They're going to be richer in Seattle, too. Oh, she just whispered that we have a donation box in case you want to help pay for it.
Let's see what I got.
And Tom, I'm sure, has a couple of petitions he'd like you to sign before you leave. So.
In honor of the fun event we're having here, the donation box.
That's beautiful.
Oh, the artist's name is Jason Johnston. He was an art instructor at Leland Schools. This piece was cast in Kalamazoo. It's one of only 50. It's a kind of a special piece, and we hope there's one placed in every state in the Union.
Wow.
Thank you. Puggy Berry.
I'm going to just sneak in here and say, please sign also the peace flag that Margie Patchen brought. And we're going to be giving that to you as well to take out. We thought maybe that would be small enough that you could stash it in your suitcase. So please sign that. We're putting together a scrapbook inside. If you have something to put in there that you brought, if you don't, there's little sheets of paper. You can sign a little note or a little well-wishing or whatever you want to say to them, or maybe something that you remember back with Tom and Darlene. So feel free to add to that, and it's worth taking a moment to look at the scrapbook. There's quite a wealth of history there, and we do have W here today, so all is well, right?
He's just looking for a brain in case one has one.
I'm not going to talk long, which is amazing. We really feel so deeply touched, not only by this, but by all of you. I told Sally when she started talking about this, I said, oh, I've been over-honored. You know, you write a lot of press releases, they think you do things, you know. But I'm so grateful for all of you, because the way I look at it, while you are honoring us, you are honorable people. You are people who honor not just us, but the earth and the togetherness and the oneness of all of us together. And so it's like a reflection. You know, we're humbled to be honored, but we're also a mirror to each of you. And there's so many people in this circle that are walking so much lighter on this earth than we have. And you are the folks that move us to, you know, to go on and plant some stuff in our backyard or whatever. So I want to thank you and honor each of you for that. They really didn't tell the whole story this morning in the Record Eagle. Darlene began here. She and her kids built a house together, all out on Sutton's Bay. And that's why they're all builders, and that's why 4 of them went to Seattle, because there weren't jobs here. But she also initiated work in the hospice way, way back, before Munson had a hospice. She did it with Michigan Home Health Care. And so that caring, you know, has gone through her whole life too. It's all peacemaking. It's all peacemaking. Whatever you're doing is peacemaking with people, and that's why nothing I could do would work without Darlene. It just wouldn't. I define marriage as a union of worthy opponents. I don't know if I'm worthy of her, but she's really a good partner to have had. You want to say anything?
Just thank you. I mean, this just really is it's just really overwhelming.
Yeah, it is.
I told Tom when we decided to go to Seattle, I don't want anyone to know we're going. I want to just go so I don't have to say goodbye to people. And it just isn't possible. It's just very, very kind.
Very thoughtful, and then let's have fun. And our favorite band here, Song of Lakes. Darlene and I were privileged to do a lot of stuff for them and with them over the years. So I'm honored by them being here too. Thanks again so much.
What was this chord?
Yeah,
They come and look, and
Anyway,
Green
I can see
Revolution,
why
but
folks
it's not always the one we're in.
family was so fortunate.
but good old Jennifer, she keeps saying, hey, you know, let those hippies go, let them go.
Build a house.
Yeah, she's now making.
Then I come down to the valley of light. When the sea is shining bright, and the glittering is each other light on me. And I'm standing on this hill and the time will still. Yes, I know it will. Yeah, the time will still. You know, surrender and down the storm. Going down to the valley where all the storm. I come down to spend some time when I need it more than anything. Life's a river and I'm the stone. It rushes by me and all I need is to get out, get away for the day. For a while, just me and the sea, where the rivers are running young lovers standing by the shore. They just couldn't ask for more. And the rush comes up from the rolling sea. And I'm standing on this hill and the time is still. And I'll get my fill. Yeah, the time is spent. Still I'm fighting for the dreams. I've come down to spend some time when I need it more than anything. My life's a river and I'm the stone. It rushes by me and all I need is to get out, get away for a day. For a while, just me and the sea, where the rivers are running.
Farewell in this
God, you're a full-time producer, aren't you?
chapter.
Holy,
You know when it
we're
just,
watching you.
That I've been asked to read, and it says,
Dear Darlene and Tom, in how many languages and in how many ways can we say to you what you mean to us and how grateful we are that you are our friends, that we are companions on this journey forever, and that you will continue to be in our hearts wherever you locate and call home. Traverse City, Michigan, the country, and the world feel the effects of your peacemaking. We can vouch for that as you joined in the faith and resistance movement, spread the word and expertise in conflict resolution, preached from every pulpit in churches, schools, halls, media channels, streets, and soapboxes. We feel so blessed to be walking with you on the journey. When you were imprisoned, you brightened the cells. When we enter your home, we felt the peace you share in your lives. When you invited us to your actions, we experienced your creative, persistent ways for making peace with justice. Yes, this journey is a Eucharist that we are privileged to be on with you. So, Darlene and Tom, we weep with the folks that are surrounding you this day, though we smile and bless you on your way. We feel the loss, yet we know the gain. We understand your move, though we realize the thousands of miles from Maryland to Washington. We pray for you, your health, your families, your friends who surround you now and in the future. May your nonviolent way of life, your witness that shines light in the darkness, continue for many eternal nows. God's peace be with you always. With sincerest love and thanks, Carol and Ardith. Folks keep coming and going this afternoon, and earlier we had a presentation of a sculpture that we are going to have displayed in honor of all peacemakers, exemplified by Tom and Darlene's lives at the Traverse Area District Library. And it's on the table here next to the yellow balloon. So those who weren't here earlier, please go up, touch it. It's meant to be touched and to turn, and it'll be on the pedestal at the library at a level that not only people my height can touch, but also children. And the little clown box next to it is a donation box to cover the expense for our gift in memory of all peacemakers, but especially exemplified by Tom and Darlene. Thanks.
That was interesting.
Okay.
That's right. We thought.
All right, ready? Look this way. Look at me. That's good.
Have your life back? Man, you did such a beautiful job. No, like I just got another
Sorry, Karen.
Good. Oh, thank you.
Was a skinny, dark-bearded
I'm sure I know
manager of the food co-op at that time, and he had a doctorate in, I believe, English, didn't he, or language, and my last name is called Kerchek, and Michael could never pronounce my last name, and so he called me Kirkek. And you know Phil Teal? Cedar City Grocery?
I think I do, yeah.
Well, Phil was real involved at that time with the co-op also, and we were on a committee project or something, and we'd get together, and Michael would carry on about trying to pronounce my last name. Well, at that time, Star Trek was a really big deal, and Phil started calling me Captain Kirkek, and then it just became the captain. All because they couldn't pronounce my last name correctly.
No way.
Tom and I go back a long way. He's actually one of the first people I met back in 1977. He's been my longest friend here in Traverse City. And so some years ago, there was some excitement in China at Tiananmen Square. And I guess Tom was kind of my mentor. He's been a mentor and a father figure and a good friend all these years. Also, we're both the youngest of Irish families, so we share a lot of jokes that we'll tell in private if you'd like to hear them. But this song was really inspired by Tom's work, and it's one of our songs. It's called "Stand Up for Freedom." There's a spirit in the wind, you can feel it in your soul. It's touching every one of us, the young and all the old. It starts just like a whisper, and it ends just like a scream. It's that good old freedom, love, and dream. And those who live in fear are soon to be secure. For a new day will be coming for the hungry and the poor, and those who live in weakness will soon be standing strong, with their hearts and voices united in one song. Stand up for freedom. Stand up, free and proud. Stand up for what you believe in. Say your name, say it loud. As the new light shines, the darkness fades, and it burns off to the sun. 6,000 million people are marching one by one. And it's a parade for justice, and it's a parade for peace. And in Jericho now and then. There'll be times when you grow tired of all the struggle. And the thoughts of going on just bring you pain. And then you look into the mirror, then somehow it's clear, and you find the strength to carry it all together.
Respect. The woman's the household there. Everybody's smiling, and Patrick's not saying anything. Oh, the dog's screaming.
I have to stand up.
He just doesn't get it yet. He's like,
like thunder, you can't escape the sound, and its echoes now can never be put down. Stand up for freedom. Stand up, free and proud. Stand up for what you believe in. You gotta say your name, say it loud. Stand up for what you believe. Stand up for freedom. Stand up for what you believe. Stand up for freedom. Stand up for what you believe. Stand up for freedom. Stand up for what you believe. Stand up for freedom. Stand up for what you believe.
We'd like to invite Tom up here. He's got a song that he'd like us all to sing, and when we come up with we're gonna sing it. with Tom. I think
The song you just heard, Stand Up for Freedom, as some of you may have heard, Darlene and I had the privilege of working with Song of the Lakes, particularly in the 80s, doing news releases and getting an occasional gig here and there. But when they played this song on the open space, and everybody stood up. I think they had played it at Interlochen first. Did they stand up out there? The whole Interlochen student body stood up, and then when they played it on the open space, everybody stood up. So a couple weeks later, they were down at the Dow, whatever it was, a big outdoor theater in the summertime. It was a arts kind of thing, and they were playing down there. And Darlene and I went down, and we were one of those grass knolls kind of thing, and we're sitting out there. So when they played the song, I stood up, and Ingemar observed, "Thanks, Tom." Everybody started leaving. So, life can be a dream. Mike used to run a program on WNMC called Soul Michael, and good, thank you. So he privileged me with an hour one time, and I brought in a lot of Union songs. There's a film out called What You Are Now Is Where You Were When. Well, I was a kid in the Depression. I mean, we got by, but there were a lot of Depression kinds of things in my life, not psychologically so much as just, the whole concept of depression. It wasn't all bad times. A lot of creative things came out of the Depression. But that impacted me. Short story, there was a Great Lakes Festival in Cleveland, sort of a precedent to the New York festival that happened in 1940. And as a kid, I was 8 years old or something, and they had an alpine sort of relief, like fake mountains is what it was, that went into the thing. And there were sandbags and machine guns up there. And as a little kid, I said, "Hey, Dad, what's that all about?" Well, the unions were organizing, and that's how worried and fearful they were that there would be union violence at this exposition, So there's more and more stories like that. But I've not been fortunate enough to have been a union member, but have worked for unions doing, employee assistance stuff and doing other things over the years. And that's part of our history. It's not just the unions, labor unions, but it's our union as people. And if you go back to labor history, you'll see that a lot of the organizing, Mother Jones, you name it, happened, through union organizing. And Solominsky drew a lot from organizing. One little experience talking out to the retired UAWs one day, I said, "Did anybody here sit in at Flint, Michigan in 1938? And this little guy raised his hands, a guy named John. The sit-ins at the Buick plant in Flint in 1938 were what really impacted and started the nonviolence movement that led then into the civil rights and to the peace movement." I mean, we've got an expert here, Dean Robb, may or may not verify it, but that's my reading of history. That's where a lot of our nonviolence started. So that's taken me. So here we go for a union song. We're all together, union or not union, but today we're here because of peace, because of, may peace prevail on earth. And my experience and Darlene's experience here with you all has been that we are one. We really do live that oneness. As I said earlier, so many of you live it much more in your lifestyle than we can or do. But we are one. So I'd like to have you all sing Solidarity Forever. It's to the tune of John Brown's Body. Just give them the feel. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater than anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. sight, who would lash us into serfdom and would crush us with his might. Is there anything left to us but to organize and fight? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops and the smiles of labor played. Now we stand outcast and starving amidst the wonders we have made, but the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Yes, the union makes us strong. All the world that's owned by idle drones is ours and ours alone. We have laid the wide foundations, built the sky with gold by stone. It is ours not to enslave and but to master and to own. All the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. We have taken untold pains that they never toiled to earn, but without our aid and muscle on us in return, we can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. And the union makes us strong. Last verse. Greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth the new growth from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Hey!
You guys clap like a mess of white people. Sure,
Well, one of the stories back in the, when I got in Detroit, I was in the firm of Morris Sugar, who was the general counsel for the UAW during the Flint sit-down strikes, and we had this joke: if you knew more than one verse of Solidarity Forever, that was a sure sign that you were a communist. And so, Tom, I don't know what that says about you. But anyway, that's a great revival of that great old song.
Well, we have one other surprise. We're going to write a song actually for Tom and Darlene right now. We're going to help us with it if you wouldn't mind. I guess we just need to kind of rehearse the chorus a little bit. That's right. So one of the things in this is you're going to write all the verses to this song, and all you got to do is when the time comes up is to shout out something that Tom or Darlene has done or will do, and we'll incorporate it in the song. That's right. Well, fellas, this is going to be your part of the chorus, because we're going to do this in two-part harmony. It goes like this. And we say farewell to our good friends, and we say farewell to our good friends, and we say farewell to our good friends, but we'll keep you in our hearts. So we'll say farewell to our good friends, but we'll keep you in our hearts. Let's hear all the guys give that a try. And we'll say farewell to our good friends, we'll say farewell to our good friends, we'll say farewell to our good friends, we should do a rah at the end. And we'll keep you in our hearts. Rah! Okay, Lisa, just hold us say, I guess.
We're making this up as we go along, too.
Very well, they taught us to mediate, they did it very well. They taught us to mediate, they did it very well. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And we say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And they picketed for peace, and they did it very well. And they picketed for peace, and they did it very well. And they picketed for peace, and they did it very well. And we keep you in our hearts. And we say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts. And Tom is a clown, and he did it very well. And Tom is a clown, and he did it very well. And Tom is a clown, and he did it very well. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And we say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts. And they said no to nukes, and they did it very well. And they said nukes, and they did it very well. And they said no to nukes, and they did it very well. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And they say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts. And they have a heart for people, and they did it very well. And they have a heart for people, and they did it very well. They have a heart for people, and they did it very well. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts. And they got to take the peace, and they did it very well. And they want to take the peace, and they did it very well. And they want to take the peace, and they did it very well. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And we say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts. And Darlene's a wild woman, and she did it very well. Darlene's a wild woman, and she did it very well. Darlene's a wild woman, and she did it very well. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And we say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts. And you made this a community, and you did it very well. And you made us a community, and you did it very well. And you made us a community, and you did it very well. And we'll keep you in our hearts. And we say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts. And we'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends. We'll say farewell to our good friends, and we'll keep you in our hearts.
I like the invisible poop. Well, we're going to celebrate something that we all live up here for, and that's the Great Lakes of Michigan. And we seem to play it in this one over here to the west all the time, the beautiful Lake Michigan, the true pearl of America.